Lesson 13.2, and or statements. And or are little words that make a big difference when you're talking about the truth value of something, and that's really what we're doing here is we're figuring out if things are true or not in our logic. And if I said to the class, raise your hand if you're a boy and you're 16 years old, you would have to be both of those things. You would have to be a boy and 16 years old. It makes it more restrictive. But if I switched the word and to or and I said, raise your hand if you're a boy or you're 16 years old, I should have more people, because then every boy would raise their hand and every 16-year-old, which could be girls, would raise their hand. And so ands are more particular, ors, they could be either one. So what's going to happen here is there's going to be a lot of words. The words don't really matter. They're going to tell you whether the things are true or false. You luck out and you don't have to decide that part. So for example, it says if it's an alien invasion is a false statement. Oh no, my pen's not working. And it's chilly outside is a true statement. Evaluate the truth of the statement. It's an alien invasion and it's chilly out. So if we were to put something false with something true and say that it's got to be and both of those things, that's going to be overall false. So what I need you to know is that and statements are true only if all of the atomic or constituent statements are true. I've never heard this word atomic in terms of language, but so I looked it up. An atomic statement means that it's in logic. It's a statement which cannot be broken down into smaller statements, also simply called an atom, which does make sense. You know, an atom in science class is the smallest form of life. And so we've got these atomic statements of an alien invasion and it's chilly out. When those are not all true, then and saying and between them, then it's false overall. Okay, the next one has 3 atomic statements in it. If figure 1 is congruent to figure 2 is true, the groundhog sees its shadow is true, and it's an alien invasion is true, evaluate the truth statement of figure 1 is congruent to figure 2, and the groundhog sees its shadow, and it's an alien invasion. That was a true and a true and a true. Since all 3 of those were true, the whole thing will be true. Okay, let's look at the ors. Or statements are true if at least one of the atomic statements are true. So if 7x minus 6 equals negative 10 is true, and Raul has a math test tomorrow is false, evaluate the truth statement of 7x minus 6 equals negative 10, or Raul has a math test tomorrow. So we had the first statement being true, and then the second one being false. I don't care that both of them aren't true. The overall truth value of this would be true because at least one part of it was true. And then the second one, if there are baby alligators in the sink, is a false statement. If line KL is a perpendicular bisector, MN is a false statement. And triangle ABC is isosceles is false. Evaluate the truth of the statement. There are baby alligators in the sink. That should be or, sorry. Or KL is a perpendicular bisector, MN, or triangle ABC is isosceles. And so because those are all ors and all of them were false, so we had false or false or false, then the whole thing is false. But if one of them would have been true, then the whole thing would have been true. We just need one of them in an or. But in an and, everything has to be true overall.